Yeah.
Yeah, man. Let's do Nasty.
Yo, guys, look, I don't want to lie. I've never really listened to Nasty like that. This is the first album I've actually listened to. And man, it's deep. It's deep. Like when I listen to the first song, for instance, the end, where he's talking about how he was still a kid, and then he's just painting you a picture of his mom's death that night, and how his dad was feeling, and my goodness, that track, man, that was an introduction and a half, eh?
Yeah, no, it's a heavy jam, man. It's a not jam, sorry, heavy song. Let me correct myself. It's a heavy song, but then I think it's something that he needed to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. I think more than anything, that song is kind of like a opening up. He's opening up to us about what happened to him as a child. And I read somewhere where he said his mom's death only hit him as a teenager. Around 16, 17 there, when he didn't understand, there's these friends at school, they've got their moms and everything, and now his mom is not around, and that's when it hit him. So yeah, that's
maturity.
Yeah,
to hit you at that point, because
at
first you're not really consistently seeing that presence in other people's lives. Yeah.
That's why he was calling himself Ivy's son all along, right? I didn't know what it meant until it's
Ivy's son.
That Ivy is his mom's name.
Yeah.
Damn. Do you think him being a father has something to do with his approach to this album?
I want to be honest with you, right? I was actually just having a chat with my girl about something just now, about that question is so tricky, because nothing in life we can't say doesn't influence us in any form of way, It's like somebody walk in this room and slap me right now, how this podcast finishes, and how somebody doesn't walk in this room and slap me finishes. It's it's going to influence me, That doesn't happen for no reason. Everything is always going to have, you waking up and kicking the corner of your bed with your small toe and you walking out the room screaming. It just shapes something for that moment as you walking out. So I think it does have, it does have an effect to him, because it's going to obviously influence his perspective of like, I'm no more just a G, for this. I've got somebody here that I need to take care of now. There's a responsibility. Also, I think it's so interesting that you asked that question, because that's the part where I have to respect him for how he's making the album. Like he has to do the therapy of healing all these things he's gone through before he walks the journey of being like the dad to young one. Like, okay, let me put it in this music.
Oliver.
Things, like
that song, Oliver,
dear Oliver. Oliver, is the big boy.
I wanted to say this to you, Kem, like yo, man, I'm enjoying this mostly because sometimes when you're not in the culture and you see at a party and then we're telling you like, yo, man, nastyc is dope, dog. Then people just look at us like, that guy who says he wants his juice back. Okay. All right.
The hell no, guy. Hell no.
If you say so, But this is what we have been going through. Like, like you're saying, hip hop has turned 50. This is like, this is what we're going through. We've been going through like not really being indulged in the commercial singles, because we understand that everybody has to sell sugar for their albums to sell, for albums to sell for the bookings to come in. But to listen to you right now, listening to that album and finding depth in nastyc, it's priceless, my king. Like, hello back.
Thanks, bro. Shut up, bro.
Yeah, most definitely.
Just to dabble in here, like, yo, these guys have got actual talent.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Like, even that song, I think it's Pops.
Yes.
Dedicated to his dad.
Yo, dog. Look, it's not a banger or anything of that sort. There's not even much beats to it, but it makes you think, man. Because usually, I mean, obviously, even he does say that, look, this is not just about dads, even your mom, if you have a parent and whatever. But for me, the fact that a man dedicated a song to his dad, for me, that was amazing. Because usually it's a dear mama, to my unborn child, or my lady, my wife. But he's like, nah, I'm gonna talk about my pops, and pops, this is what you've been saying, that this is how mom sees you, or that's how. Yo, man, thanks for. There's a line he says. I think it says something like, "Thanks for teaching me how to pray, so that I can get through some of the things that I did," or something like that. I was like, yo.
You know what the irony of that track is, right? Is because at the beginning of the album, I don't remember the song exactly. It's almost like he's got to bagging his dad, like he's mad at him, like, yo, dog, like you abused me, the way you treated me was shitty, like that's how he begins, like at the beginning of the album, just addressing his father, like in this way of like, yo, this was messed up. How am I supposed to be, being an abused person and all that. Then at the end, he summarizes the story of like, yo, man. I think he also summarizes with the first song by just saying, yo, I wonder how you felt that evening,
Hey, yo, yeah.
He's basically going into the story like, my dad's trauma started here,
right?
Followed by the fact that he became like this abusive guy that I had to grow up around. But at the end of the day, you my nigga, Topi, I still feel you, you're a human being as well. You go through your own shit.
I don't remember which song he said this in, but it is in this album. And he said something like his dad didn't believe in him when he was doing the music thing, right? He was like, nah, don't do that. Do something else, right? When he started making a proper income out of it, and showing dedication that he's really into this, Pops came through and Pops was like, yeah, okay, I'm actually proud of you. And then he said, I think it was Pops actually. He said, his dad said, I'm proud of you. And then he said, not Dad, I'm actually proud of you. At some point in that song as well.
Yeah.
Like it's my turn to tell you that I'm proud of you. Yeah.
And I think that's something that's not something a lot of parents hear from their children.
So I think it's a two-way conversation.
Right.
It's especially like let's say like in our community, especially like as Black people, it's the conversation of saying, "Hey, Topi man, I'm really proud of you," or "My old lady, I'm really proud of you," or whoever, "I'm really proud of you," and then they just say like, "Hey man, you too, bro, you still here, you're in this life, you're doing the most that you can, so I'm really proud of you." So like the depth in that, just in those bars, besides the song in itself, it's a whole lot. Like I have to give him the maturity of some of the music that he has on the album. It's crazy. It's crazy. Lyrically crazy. You're like, wow, man. I remember this homie at the gym was saying, you really feel that he's in touch with his pen right now,
right,
able to put the songs together like this.
Look, I don't want to lie, I didn't feel all the songs. I mean, there's a song with Tellerman. I felt like it was incomplete. I felt like something was missing, you know what I mean?
There's one that's better than the other with Tellerman.
There's Sunset something, and what's the other?
I didn't feel Sunset. So basically the first 7 songs I loved. Sunset broke it because Sunset was track 8. And then there's a one with Amifaku. I didn't really feel that one that much. But then from, I think, I Love You Again, I started feeling them again. But Crazy was dope, man.
Oh, that's the song I don't.
Crazy.
You don't feel?
For example, like I said to you guys earlier on today, right? I always respect the person who's making the art, right? And in the scenario, it's fair enough to say that you, as the person also making the art, also have to respect the fact that I acknowledge that sometimes some of the art is not for me. Not for me to like say, oh, this is not for me. But if I'm in the art gallery, I paid to be here. So I'm going to have an opinion about it. You're like, oh, okay, cool. Right. I don't see what he's trying to do here, whatever. So for me, that's how I felt about Crazy. I felt like I don't know where the song is going. It had I didn't like that high pitch. Like, oh, the high pitch, like it really threw me off. But like, just as you're saying, there's just a few songs, you know, where I felt like, okay, Nasty, where are we going with this? And then he would bring me back, like, okay, yeah, okay, cool. Whoa, you had me worried there, bro. I was going 2 songs, I was trying to look for the skip button, you know.
Yeah, there's one that I actually skipped, and also the one with 25K. I didn't feel that much. It's like,
it was like a finishing. You see, those are just like, yo, man, we've recorded this. Let's put it on. I also didn't feel like that. Do you know which song really broke my heart? Right. It's a good song, but I think it would have been better. And this is so crazy for me to say because you know, right now, nigga, my favorite rapper is the Butcher coming, nigga. You know, Big Butcher is like, yo. But I didn't feel like he deserved the spot on that song.
On Prosper in Peace.
Yes.
Who would you have put on Prosper in Peace?
I'm on Cass.
Yeah, that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Because they never let him prosper in peace.
Yes.
That makes sense.
You don't know how to handle the merchandise. You know that.
That's a bar right there, though. Shut up.
They have a controversial.
No, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, I don't think I see Butcher anywhere else on the album.
Which is fine. Which is fine. It's budget safe. Look, man, just because you have budget doesn't mean that you have to spend it. You know, I like what you said earlier on. Sometimes you take that budget, you redirect it to some marketing. You know, market another song more. You check because it's everything on the song is fine. I enjoy Nasty. I enjoy everything, but like the aura of the Butcher, I just feel like the Butcher even wrote the verse for the simple sake that like, yo, what's up, young blood? I can rap. Let me get on to it, you know. It's not that I'm not feeling like the Butcher in it, you know. And
you want the drug dealer Butcher. That's what you're looking for.
Kind of, you know, like he must tell me how he struggled being the drug dealer and you know, but it didn't feel like a Butcher verse, you know. It felt like he put the lyrics together. Like the reason I also say, I don't know, sometimes when you listen to Cass, he's got that voice where he's out loud and then that horsey voice, I feel like he could have pulled one of those off where it sounds like he's talking to you on the song, like, yo, Nasty, I feel you, you know, on this. Yeah, so many people I find that, but right now at the top of my head, Cass is the only person I think he could have put on that song and they would have killed it together, you know. They would have killed it together. I didn't think the Butcher's supposed to be on it.
Yeah, man, that makes sense. That makes sense. I can see it from your perspective. And also, we've heard Butcher, man. Butcher's got bars for days.
Exactly. So you can, you know, sometimes in a feature you can hear when an artist is not performing to his level because maybe the lane he's in, Look, when you're rapping, you have the ability to put bars in wherever. But there's some certain times where you're not in your lane. You know, you feel like I'm not in my lane, so it's I just wrote the verse and I did it. Even like in the energy of the verse, you can hear like, okay, I just delivered the verse and it worked. I wrote the 16. Yeah, sure, done from Africa. Take this to the motherland.
Sometimes you see it in groups. Like you find there's a song where some member of the group didn't even feature on it.
Yeah.
And you wonder, you're like, okay, maybe he wasn't feeling, maybe he didn't really know what to say in this.
And it just didn't suit. But overall, man, like for me, like the Nasty project is also dope, you know. There's just like I think he could have also made it like 11 to 12 track project.
Yeah.
And it would have been like a classic.
Right.
Yeah. Like 11 to 12 track. At max, I think 13 songs for me made it work.
I feel like it could have been a double disc if it was like those physical copies back in the day type of thing.
But I was mad about like side, you know. I would have been mad, like, yo, man, side B, what's going on here? You know.
Because for me, the song with Amifaku, it felt like Amapiano or something. It didn't feel like, and I think that threw me off a bit. I don't know about you guys, but because he only comes in like halfway through the song, and I just felt like, is this your song? I felt like he was featured in his own song.
And that's why I critique the construction.
Artists do that. Artists tend to do that at some point. for the life of me, I can't think of one at the current moment, but I know there was somebody who did that. Oh yeah, actually, Cass did in the what is that world? Hold on, instead of messing with our future. The Amapiano version he did with that lady. What's her name?
Oh, Bushe.
Bushe, yeah, they right. He also came in like at the with the last verse over there, and I think the origins of that song. I think.
But that's on her album, right?
No, that's on Cass. That's on Short and Sweet 2.0, right?
Oh,
That's that Amapiano album.
Right.
Yeah. So I think artists tend to do that at some point, and I think others, which you'll actually get to understand what I'm saying, is people having like 2 or 3 features on one song, right? You're not on the chorus. You're probably going to be the third guy or doing the last verse on the album, and then there are like 2 guys before you, right? It's still your song. It's just that you featured 2 artists, and they they're doing more on the track than you. But that's just the nature of features, man. And I think especially because of house-like features, right? House, Amapiano as well, right? Amapiano and house, there's like a build-up, right? To get to a certain point in a song, and then from there somebody else can carry it over. So I don't think it's a bad song.
Where would you put it in the album?
Yeah, that's
where would I put it?
Like in terms of like track listing, right? If you were and would you put it there where it was, or would you move it up, or would you move it down?
Where was it in the album?
I think it's track. It's track 8, bruh.
I think it's after the Teleman Jam. The summer.
I'll tell you. No. I think it's track. Wait, I'll tell you now. Track 9.
Track 9.
After Sunset.
I think.
Yeah, that's Sunset is the Teleman Jam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, and I thought that.
Don't you kind of think that was like a breaker of sorts of what the first half of the album was or is, and that was like just okay, let's cut and then let's focus on other things type of thing.
That's why I started getting the impression that this could have been a double disc, because that from there, like, okay, maybe this is a B type of thing. That's how I felt, because like you're saying, it's not a bad song. It's just that it just didn't. To me, it just didn't feel.
Sometimes it can distort you, yeah. If you're listening to a while, the way a song is and the way it's put in, right, regardless of how not bad it is, let me say that, because you've been coming from one train of thought.
Yes.
It just knocks you off, that you feel like, what's going on here?
What's going on?
Maybe you've been enjoying the flow that you've been in. I think maybe that's how we're hearing it,
Yes.
So I hit that skip button. And get me correct. Man. Get me correct. Kokota, I'm a big fan of Amapiano. Like, I'm out there with
I know that much.
I'm out there. So it's no shade on the Llanos,
Yeah.
Like, even like how you said it, like, man, not to go back to the Smans, but this nigga knows how to package his shit. Like,
I know he pains, eh?
Yeah, like you say, Casper said he put that song, he put it on a strictly piano situation, house situation. Yeah, it's there. And then when he comes here to Solomon, evening gentlemen, I'm here to rap now. It's hip hop.
Suit and tie.
Rap. That's what he said. Hip hop. So like, that song did throw me off, and then it made me. It's so weird, because I had to stop listening to the album, right? Go do like some other stuff, and then come back like with my ears drained, and continue the album to be able to appreciate, like, oh, okay, cool, listening to everything else, because it killed my momentum that I built up.
Now, for me, it was in one sitting.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't skip anything, but from the end. I think my next favorite song from there is what comes is the end, and then what's the second song? I forgot. And then there's Crazy Crazy, and then there is Release Me.
Mm-hmm.
Release Me is a fucking beautiful song, bro.
Super.
He's like, listen, guys, this is only entertainment, right? I'm in the entertainment business, so don't hold me on to these things that I say on these songs. I'm in love.
Yeah.
I'm in love. I would rather be at home and, what you might call it, be with my baby and not change clothes for 2 days or something, right? Just chilling, not doing anything. I'm not really going out there popping these bottles and screwing all of these girls and everything. Like, I don't do that. I go home.
But didn't he also address like his lady as well, like, or some girl also? It's like, look, release me, like.
Yeah, he did in that in one of the verses there.
Yeah.
Shit, what was it? I totally forgot what he said, but yeah, he did. He definitely did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a dope ass song, man.
So basically, it's like a "don't box me in" type of track. Like,
like don't
buy the hype.
Don't exactly. And
You
what
see?
I give you is the only thing that you'll see. You're not going to see my personal life, right? You are only going to see the cover that I'm showing you.
Right.
You're only going to see the album covers. You're going to see entertainment. The same thing with movies, man. Nobody expects those actors to go back home and start shooting up people and sniffing up drugs and all of that stuff, right?
That's what they do, man. Because they need characters, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like movies. That's also entertainment, man. And we don't hold them, the actors or the directors to the same type of status that we hold our artists to, right? So I think that was a well-written song for me. I really enjoyed that song.
Can I ask you something about that?
Mm.
Isn't that a little bit different though? Like in terms of our artists, like in especially I believe like in hip hop, isn't that why like you find some niggas get critiqued for not being authentic, Like, some niggas talk about I packed that strap, but we know like man, you don't need to pack a cigarettes, right? What are you talking about?
Don't fire gun.
Yeah, like that like how they say sometimes music is a reflection of self, right? So don't you find it a little contradictory that he's also kind of saying that?
In a way, yes. In a way, like I am 50-50 about it, because we know some artists, man, who have never got the strap and pulled shit, and yet they still rap about it like it's their life. They live.
I ain't no killer, but don't push.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's what's this track by Cole?
And funny enough, that's what I was thinking about.
There's a few tracks by Cole. There's this one where it's being featured by Jid. False Prophets is actually a good one as well. But there's this song that but he's featured by Jid on it. I think it was on the Dreamville tape, not number 3 but number 2, where he's talking about these extendos and all of that stuff, and we know he's not about that. You know what I mean? And even on what's this album, The Set Off, the latest album that dropped, where he says, put an M-rat on your head, you Luigi's brother now.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like he doesn't do that. This is only entertainment, right?
Here's a follow-up question to that. Interesting enough. Sorry that we're going down this rabbit hole. You're just making my mind think of things. Do you think, right, that's why some artists, right, have like what can I say? like a cult following of some sort because they really that nigga, you know.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I'm not saying he is that nigga, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like when we're speaking right now about like the Solomon album, or I'll give another example like Drake, right? Drake never talks about that he would shoot you, but he says like he got the niggas that he can move the money to that section where that thing can happen if he needs it to happen, right? Do you think that that's why some artists have got like a deeper connection with their fan bases, because there is some authenticity to who they actually are, and like you know, if like for example to say if you're a nigga that really bought it, when you say it on the song, we gonna kind of really feel it. I don't know how to express it.
Yeah.
This thing about us gonna make it say like, yo man, GT about that life on me.
Yeah.
Family.
Yeah.
You know, that song he says take care, he babysitting, he really means it, like, you know.
I think that's why Get Rich or Die Trying was such a hit, because he was actually shot for real. Like that guy actually got shot 9 times for real.
Yeah.
And he's talking about like all the experiences and like how many men, you know, like a song like Many Men are such a big hit.
Yeah.
You know, brings me back like now to come back to when we are talking about like the nastyc album, right? I think I have to give nastyc like major props in terms of lyrical ability.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, I do get lost in like in relation. And I'm not saying that you have to be a gangster, because I'm not a gangster to relate to you. But you know, when I watch a movie based on a true story, and when I watch Avengers, there's a certain sensation that I get when I'm watching based on a true story. Even if they haven't said based on a true story, something feels real about what this thing that I'm watching, you know, as opposed to when I'm watching Avengers. So that's also like sometimes when I'm listening to the music, that little bit of thing that draws me a little bit away. But I like the fact that he made a song like Release Me, you know, that throws me back into saying like, yo man, I ain't even about this life, but I'm selling these tickets because you niggas are buying.
Yeah.
You know,
so
that's why it's also one of my songs that I like on the album. It's like, you know, he's keeping it up.
But you're right. I agree with you guys in the sense that when you're saying that it's a bit contradictory, because the album cover, it's about him showing us his family, right?
Yes.
But you're saying we should release you, but you're showing us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The release me part, ne?
I can't really place my thumb on it. I feel some contradiction in my system.
I think the release me part is and I love it here, the album cover and Release Me. I think they're connected. You know, they're connected because this is a space where he loves being in, right? So all of the external factors and everything release me from what you think I am. Right. Release me from what I may portray in my entertainment. I love this. I love my family. I love being in this bubble, you know. I love my gaming. He's a nerd. He a geek, rather. Let me say that. Yeah. He's a geek.
Hey,
he loves his games, right? He loves.
Budget, boy, you need to put my nigga GT on the budget. He's been doing PR for this nigga all day. Shout out GT. When like I'm a big ass rapper, nigga, you gotta like hold me down, nigga.
Don't worry, my nigga. I got your autobiography.
Hold me down. Because I have to acknowledge the fact that you did make sense of that. You know, that, like, yes, the album cover and Release Me, that you guys have held me to some thoughts because I am a rapper. So you think I'm this person. So like, yeah, nicely put, my king.
No, shout out. That's the a good way of decoding that thing. Out of 10, gents?
I think I'll give it an 8. Simply because of, you know, there's like 2-3 filler tracks which most probably could have been left out, but then all in all, the project is solid, man. I think the subject matter is amazing. I think the way that he executed is amazing, and the fact that you know, in his execution of this message and what he is going through right now, he still kept it relevant to his fan base, right? His fan base, they don't, what can I say? I don't think they would have gotten the same hype out of I Love It Here if it had Solomon beats, right? I don't think it would have been the same. True. So I also, when I was bumping the album, right, I was listening and also reading some of the lyrics in the songs. So for me, it's a very solid project, and I think 8 is too harsh. I may give it a 9. Because I read the lyrics, like and yeah, man, it's no man has got a pen. He's got a pen on him, and it's amazing. And there's this one track called "I Love You." Oh man, yeah. But anyways, that's me. Let's say 8.5 rather. I'll say 8.5. Okay. That's me.
And you, Bucks?
Ooh, here we go. I'm gonna give it 6.5. Yeah, and that's also just solely based on what you said. Like, I loved all the lyrical content. You know, I'm going to make this point as we go on later on. Like some of the beat selection to me, you know, was not like my favorite, right? And this is like personal critiquing, right? Just so also like musicians understand, those who can't do coach and those who can't coach, they stand on the fans and they support and they critique. So that's also where it comes from. You know, I'm a fan and I'm saying, okay, cool. From all the tracks, I think 12 tracks would have made it. I would have given it an 8 or a 9 with the 12 tracks because like the beats are just something different to me, right? I didn't find my gelling into it with the beats so well and everything else. But in terms of creativity of lyrical ability, I have to give it to him. Like, yo, man, he writes so well, he raps so well, you know. So, yeah, I think I'll give it a 6.5. Yeah.
Yeah, fair, valid. Have you noticed that you know, I think from Price City up until now, right? He has found a way to sharpen his craft, right? Whereas he doesn't rap multisyllable stuff like the way he used to do it in Price City. But then right now, he is able to convey a message with a sharpened pen, right? A better sharpened pen, and the message still comes through like he is rapping in Price City.
Isn't that what Nas usually does though nowadays? Like, well, for the past maybe 10 years or so, when he releases, it's like it's no longer about, you know, proving a point to anybody. It's like
I can rap. That's
you know. Like you question my shit. I've got a catalog that you can go listen to that will prove, you know. And I think Nasty never fails to give us a single or something, or you know, one of those YouTube freestyles just to remind you that, hey, brother,
don't play with me now.
Play with me, you get hurt. You know, he never fails to do that.
Yeah.
So you see, funny enough, like that you were speaking about the ability to get better at his craft. That's what I actually enjoyed a bit. You know, like the more realistic him. You know, I got to enjoy like, you know, him talking about like, yo, this, his dad, his mom, his child. That's what made me enjoy it. Like, I just find it could have been, I don't know, I find like, you know, have you ever watched like a low budget movie that's got a story? You think like, oh, man, if like Paramount picked this script up, they could have like,
it would have been dope.
Yeah. That's the thing I continuously get from this. I'm like, yo, this album is dope, but there's just this thing, I don't know what it is. And so far, the only identity I have is in terms of like the beat selection. That we just don't gel as well, you know, or
There's one song when I was listening to it, it just felt like the beat was incomplete, man. That's how I felt.
So I felt like it a couple of times.
Which one?
I felt like it a couple of times.
I think it's the one with, I think it's either the one with Tellerman or
sometimes you didn't feel that shit at all, bro. Like
At
it's
all.
like
Nah,
a good time in one night. You're like,
it's the one with Tillerman. It's definitely the one with
I actually know
Tillerman.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
But I think even the one
I
with
hear you.
25K, the one with 25K, I was like, no, I'm not feeling. You know?
Yeah. Especially, for example, for like the artist like 25K is, you know, if you go listen to 25K's projects, Beats is banging, dog. I don't know what they're cooking up there in Pretoria, but Beats is banging. Like he came out and he's also like on the drug dealer floor, you know, so Beats gotta be hard, he's gotta be aggressive. So like I was also and the thing is, Nasty does so well on an aggressive beat. Yeah. Like he will chew you up on an aggressive beat, you know. Yeah. So also on that beat, the 25K, when I actually saw the song, I was hyped up to get to it, to be like, yo, when I get to this, it's gonna be real. And then like it was kind of like, you know, a letdown.
No, I hear you.
That's 1,000 on that album.
Shout out, gents.
Man, before we continue, I just need to speak on I Love You. Man, this dude, I Love You, the concept of it is basically there's a girl who is going through the most, right? And smoking, drinking, and all this shit. And for me, she keeps asking me if if she's the one or something like that, right? And I keep telling her that I love her, but all I want to do is smash, right? And you know, so he keeps lying about that, and that kind of has like a realness to it, you know, because I think it has happened, and it's still happening, you know, in the world and around us, right? It still happens where we get people who are not in the right mind, you know, on both sides, you know, male and female. We get that, right? And
transactional
people get to, it's a transactional relationship, right? So I think that is a dope way to expose, or rather speak about this reality that people face. I think that is a dope way to speak of it. Even though like the track itself, right? When you listen to the beat is banging, right? But if you listen to the lyrics, it's like, oh damn.
You know when you're bumping your head, but you stop, you're like, hey, whoa.
Yeah.
What is keeping it real here?
You know, so I think also that goes to, you know, having a relation to his fans, that I was speaking of earlier. His fans understands him on these type of beats, you know, and he'll say whatever, you know, that comes to mind on these beats. And I think that's a dope thing for me.
Yeah, no, definitely. Definitely. Is there any other song, gents, you guys want to cover before we go to another project?
I think I'm good. Okay. No, I'm good. Yeah.